Welcome to the shadowy corridors of lesser known, where history's darkest tales are brought to light. Today, we delve into one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in American history, the Cleveland Torso Murders. This is a tale of darkness, brutality, and the limits of human understanding that unfolded in the 1930s under the cloud of the Great Depression in Cleveland, Ohio. Between 1935 and 1938, the Kingsbury Run area of Cleveland became a nightmarish landscape. This desolate ravine, known for its shanty towns and transient population, was the hunting ground of a phantom later dubbed the Cleveland Torso Murderer. At least 12 victims were claimed by this shadowy figure, leaving behind a legacy of terror and unanswered questions. Victims of the unknown. Our story begins in September 1935 with the discovery of two mutilated bodies in Kingsbury Run. Edward Andrassy, known to frequent the area, and an unidentified man, later known as John Doe First or the Tattooed Man, were found decapitated and emasculated. Andrassy's body, clothed only in socks, bore the marks of a violent struggle, and the tattooed man's distinctive tattoos, a butterfly and a dragon, offered a tantalizing clue that ultimately led nowhere. The killer's method was precise and chilling. Decapitation, often while the victim was still alive, followed by dismemberment. Bodies were often treated with chemicals, giving the skin a reddish, leathery texture. This level of brutality suggested a person with anatomical knowledge, possibly a doctor or butcher. In January 1936, parts of Florence Polillo's dismembered body were found in a basket near downtown Cleveland, and additional parts were scattered around the city. Florence, a sex worker, was identified through her fingerprints, a sad testament to the transient and anonymous lives many victims led. Her remains were wrapped in old newspaper and packed into half-bushel baskets, reflecting the killer's grim meticulousness. In June 1936, another unidentified man, John Doe II, was discovered under the Lorain Carnegie Bridge. His decapitated and emasculated body lay as a silent testament to the killer's ongoing spree. Just a month later, in July 1936, the torso of a teenage boy, John Doe III, was found in the Big Creek area of Brooklyn, west of Cleveland. The boy's jacket and undershirt were intact, but his head and limbs were missing, emphasizing the killer's methodical cruelty. September 1936 brought another grim discovery. A woman's torso, Jane Doe I, cut in half, found in Kingsbury Run. The pattern was clear. The killer was not just taking lives, but erasing identities. February 1937 saw the discovery of John Doe IV, a man's head found in a bag by a school in Kingsbury Run. The rest of his body was dumped nearby. His clothing, found neatly folded beside his dismembered parts, added a disturbing layer of organization to the chaos. The most chilling discovery came in June 1937, when the remains of Jane Doe II were found floating in the Cuyahoga River. Her body, decapitated and treated with chemicals, left her unrecognizable. The chemical treatment had turned her skin a ghastly red and leathery texture, indicative of the killer's gruesome experimentation. A month later, in July 1937, another man, John Doe V, was found in the Cuyahoga River, his skin similarly treated. His body was missing a head and a part of his torso, continuing the grim pattern. April 1938 brought the discovery of Jane Doe III, the lower half of her torso washed ashore at Euclid Beach. The rest of her body was never found, leaving her incomplete and anonymous. That same year, in August, John Doe VI was discovered in a hobo camp in Kingsbury Run. His head was later found buried nearby, his body showing signs of a brutal struggle, hinting at his desperate fight for survival. The final known victim, Jane Doe IV, was found in August 1938 in a vacant lot on East 9th Street. Her decapitated and chemically treated body marked the end of the torso murderer's known spree, leaving Cleveland in a state of terror and uncertainty. Her remains, meticulously dissected, were scattered across the lot, reflecting the killer's calculated madness. The investigation. The investigation, led by the famous Elliot Ness, was fraught with challenges. The limited forensic technology of the era, combined with the transient nature of many of the victims, made identification and investigation difficult. Ness employed groundbreaking forensic techniques and conducted dramatic raids in Kingsbury Run, even burning down shanty towns in a desperate attempt to flush out the killer. Yet, the torso murderer remained elusive. Several suspects were investigated, including Dr. Francis Sweeney, a man with medical knowledge and a history of mental illness. Sweeney was subjected to early lie detector tests, which he failed. Despite being a prime suspect, there was insufficient evidence to charge him or anyone else. Ness even turned to psychics in his desperation, but the killer's identity and motives remained hidden in the shadows. Legacy of fear. The Cleveland torso murders remain a dark chapter in the city's history and a haunting fascination for true crime enthusiasts. The victims, though often nameless, are a chilling reminder of the vulnerabilities of society and the enduring need for justice. Their stories, etched in the annals of true crime, reflect the depths of human depravity and the perpetual quest for understanding in the face of incomprehensible evil. Thank you for joining us on Lesser Known as we delved into the chilling tale of the Cleveland torso murderer. Join us on our next episode, where we uncover another chapter from the records of true crime and the mysteries that haunt our collective history.